Hello students. In the earlier class, we have completed the phylum Porifera. So in this class, we are going to learn about phylum Coelenterata or cnidaria. So this is the second phylum of kingdom Animalia. So these phylum coelenterates are also called as cnidarians. Cnidarians. Why? Because of the presence of cnidoblast. Cnidoblast or cnidocyte, or you can say stinging capsule. Stinging capsule. Okay. So these cnidarians are also called as coelenterata. So this coelenterata name is given because of the presence of cavity. Presence of cavity. Which cavity? This is gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity. Okay. So this is also called as, this gastrovascular cavity also called as blind sac. Blind sac. Okay. Coelenteron. You can call it a blind sac or coelenteron. Okay. So let's draw an example of phylum Coelenterata. Hydra is an example. So draw it. This is Hydra. Okay. So these are the tentacles. These are tentacles. Okay. This is the gastrovascular cavity or enterocoelon or blind sac. This is the gastrovascular cavity or enterocoelon, coelon or blind sac or blind sac. Okay. So you have a small dot-like structures on these tentacles. Okay. So these are the cnidoblasts or cnidocytes. Okay. These are present on the tentacles. So these are the cnidoblasts. Okay. Now, let's take the body wall. So this is the body wall of Hydra. You can see the cnidoblasts here. Okay. This area is mesoglia. Mesoglia. Later, these coelentrates are diploblastic animals. That means they have ectoderm and endoderm. There is no mesoderm. Okay. So from the evolution, the mesoderm is formed by a jelly-like structure called mesoglia. And in Porifera, we observed the mesohyle, which is a jelly-like structure. Okay, jelly-like substance present in between the pinacocytes and the choanocytic derms. Okay, so this is mesoglia. And here, this is gastrodermis. Gastrodermis. So this is inside of the hydra, inside region of hydra. So this wall is the gastrodermis, and you have cnidoblasts. Cnidoblasts on the outer wall of the body. So here you have a jelly-like substance, and this layer is called as mesoglia. Okay, so this is the body wall, and this layer is the epidermis. Okay, next, coming to the cnidoblast. Okay, let's draw it. So you have a small sharp substance. It is called as cnidocele. Sorry, cnidocele. Cnidocele, and a nematocyst. You have a nematocyst, and this nematocyst consists of cnidoblast. Or cnidocyte cell. Okay, so this complete structure is called as a undischarged cnidoblast. So this is the cnidoblast cell, and you have a sharp object like structure on the upper side of this cnidoblast is cnidocele, and you have a middle layer with an undischarged needle like structure, and it is surrounded by a thread, and this thread is coiled. Okay, so this thread is coiled. This is the nematocyst. Okay. Okay, so this is the nematocyst, not the cnidoblast. This is the nematocyst, which has a needle like structure which is coiled by a thread. Okay, so this nematocyst is filled with jelly like fluid. Jelly like fluid. Okay, this is the undischarged cnidoblast. What is this undischarged cnidoblast? This needle-like structure, which is coiled by the thread, when the danger appears or danger encounters, this needle-like structure will evert. That means it eject outside and it gets pierced into the enemy's body, and this nematocyst is a poisonous capsule. Okay, so we can call it as a poisonous capsule. Nematocyst is nothing but poisonous capsule. Poisonous capsule. And the poison, it is injected into the enemy's body. Okay, so you have a nucleus here. This is nucleus. Okay, so this is the undischarged cnidoblast. Now, this needle is inside. That means there is no danger. Okay, when danger encounters, this cnidoblast cell looks somewhat like this. This is the everted thread. Everted thread. in the above picture, it is coiled. When the danger encounters, it gets everted. Okay, so it uncoils from the needle-like structure, and this needle-like structure comes out of the nidoblast. Okay, so you have a sac-like structure called nematocyst, and this nematocyst, which contains poisonous fluid, which is injected into the enemy's body through this needle-like structure. Okay, and this thread is to catch the enemy, and this needle is to pierce in it, and the poisonous fluid is injected into the body through this needle-like substance. Okay, needle-like structure. And you have the muscle fibers which support this nematocyst. So this is the nematocyst. Okay, everted thread you have, and a lasso cell. The main function of this lasso cell is to maintain the position of nematocyst, that the force when the enemy appears in front of it, the nematocyst must not be ejected out of this nidoblast. So it makes a substratum to hold on to this nematocyst, and it controls it. Okay, you have a nucleus. These are muscular fibers. They support the nematocyst, and this is the lasso cell. This keeps the nematocyst in its position. Okay, so this is a discharged nidoblast. Okay, so this is the nidocyte cell. Okay, so the action of this nidoblast protects the hydra from the enemy. Okay, now what is the habitat of the coelentrates? Coming to the habitat, these are mostly marine. And hydra is present in fresh water. Okay, and then what is the habit? These mostly are colonial. Obviously they live in groups. Okay, some are solitary. Example, hydra and sea anemone, they live singly. Some are solitary, and examples of solitary are hydra and the sea anemone. Okay, next, levels of organization. Okay, so level of organization is, these are tissue organized cells. Okay, so these show diploblastic nature. That means these have layers. They are ecto and endoderms. So the body shows two layers, and so these are called as diploblastic animals. So level of organization is tissue level of organization. Okay, next, these are acoelomates, and coming to the symmetry, these exhibit radial symmetry. It means organism can be cut into two equal halves in any plane. In any plane. So this is called as the radial symmetry. Next, coming to the nutrition, these are holozoic in nature. They engulf the food. Holozoic nutrition, and then digestion. Holozoic nutrition, and then coming to the digestion. Digestion is seen extra and intracellular. Intracellular. Here, the extracellular means you have a pharynx inside the gastrovascular cavity. So, in this pharynx, the cells which are lining the pharynx, they chop the food into particles. Larger particles are chopped into smaller particles. So, here extracellular digestion is completed. Extracellular digestion is completed. Okay. Next, coming to the gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity. The fine particles which enter into this cavity, they are absorbed by the body wall or gastrovascular or gastric wall, and the undigested or waste material is exerted out through hypostome. Through hypostome, which is a mouth-like structure present. This is the hypostome. A hypostome. This is the mouth-like opening present on the top of the organism. From here, the unwanted material is exerted out. Okay. Next, these excretes ammonia. These excretes ammonia. Coming to the nervous system, it is a diffused type. Nervous system is diffused type. Next, respiration is through diffusion. Respiration is through diffusion. Next, endoskeleton. This endoskeleton in coelentrates is made of calcium carbonate and are called as corals. Okay. These accommodate in groups, and they are called as the groups of these corals called as coral reefs. Coral reefs, and these coral reefs are made up of calcium carbonate. Okay, so these cnidarians, they show two basic body forms. Two basic body forms. Okay, and they are, first one is polyp and the second one is medusa. Okay, so here polyp is exhibited by Adamsia, hydra. Okay, hydra. Okay, so let's draw the hydra. It is sessile in nature. It cannot move from the place which it is attached to the substratum. This is hydra. You can see the tentacles. Okay, you can see tentacles which have cnidoblasts. Okay, you have cnidoblasts on these tentacles, these dot-like structures on tentacles, and these are sessile in nature. They cannot locomote. Okay, they cannot show locomotion, and these are cylindrical, long cylindrical in nature. And the mesoglia, from which in triploblastic animals the mesoderm appeared, this is called as mesoglia, and this mesoglia is thin in polyps. Thin in polyps. So what is a polyp? This is, polyp means it cannot move, and medusa is a free swimming stage. Okay, so polyp, in this polyp stage, organism cannot move from the place to which it is attached. Okay, next. Here in mesoglia, you have amoeboid cells in polyp, amoeboid cells in polyps. Okay, the example is hydra. Okay, next. The next one is medusae. Medusae, sorry. So this medusae, example of this medusae is Aurelia. It is a jellyfish. Example of medusae is jellyfish, and these are free swimming forms. These are free swimming forms. You can see the tentacles. So this is a jellyfish. You can see the tentacles. Okay, so these are tentacles which have cnidoblasts. Okay, these are free swimming forms. Medusae are nothing but free swimming forms. Okay, so these are free swimming forms, and these are umbrella shaped. Umbrella shaped. And coming to the mesoglia, it is thick. Mesoglia is thick in medusae. Okay, mesoglia is nothing but the mesoderm in triploblastic animals. Okay, and you have the also amoeboid cells in medusae. Example, Aurelia. Which is a jellyfish. Okay, next. So these cnidarians, they exhibit both of the body forms. Which are the, sorry, what are the body forms? They are polyp and medusa or medusa. Okay, so these can be exhibited by these cnidarians, and the exhibition of these two body forms is called as alternation of generation. Alternation of generation. Okay, it is known as metagenesis. It is known as metagenesis. Okay, next, let's see an example. Example, Obelia. Obelia has polyp forms and medusae forms. Okay, so these polyforms, they produce medusae, asexually. Okay, and these medusae, these produce polyps or polyp forms sexually. You can see both the body forms in one organism, and this is called as hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite. Okay. Now, the classification of, let's see the classification of coelentrates or cnidaria. Classification of cnidaria. Cnidaria is divided into three classes, and they are, first one is hydrozoa, scyphozoa, third one is anthozoa. These hydrozoa, they show polyp plus medusiforms. And these scyphozoa, they show only medusa forms. Coming to the anthozoa, these have only polyp forms. Okay. Anthozoa is also called as actinozoa. Okay. And the examples are, example of hydrozoa is hydra. Okay. It represents medusa. It exhibits symbiotic relationship with algae. It is association. It is in association with algae. Symbiotic association with algae. They are zooxanthale, is brown color. Appearance of hydra, it appears brown in color. And then zoochlorella. It appears green in color. These colors are due to the association of hydra with algae. Okay. Let's see the hydrozoa. Okay. So in hydrozoa, for example, obelia, it is a sea fur. It is called as sea fur. Okay. It shows both polyp and medusiforms. Okay. Next, Physalia. It is called as Portuguese man of war. Why? Because it looks like this. Okay, so these are tentacles. Okay, they produce neurotoxins. These produce neurotoxins. So when they catch prey or when they encounter any danger, these Physalia, they use these tentacles and they release neurotoxins in the body of the enemy. And these neurotoxins are very poisonous. Okay. So this is the gas-filled bladder. Gas-filled gas-filled body which floats upon the water. This is also called as pneumatophore. So the name is why, because the Physalia is called as Portuguese man of war. This body which floats on water, it resembles the Portugal warhead. Because of that, it is called as Portuguese man of war. Okay. They show sudden appearance and disappearance on the water. They can show sudden appearance and disappearance. On water. Okay. Next, coming to the Scyphozoa. We already said that these exhibit only medusae forms. That means you can see sexual reproduction in this. Examples are Aurelia. It is a jellyfish. Aurelia, jellyfish. Okay. Next. The third class is Anthozoa. And this Anthozoa or Actinozoa, we can call it as Actinozoa too. Okay. Now you have only polyp forms in this. They can reproduce only by asexual reproduction. Okay. Calcium carbonate is absent. They cannot form the corals. Okay. Example is Adamsia, sea anemone. Adamsia is sea anemone. Okay. Calcium carbonate is absent in sea anemone, but it is present in Pennatula. It is also called as sea pen. It resembles the feathery pen, which is dipped into the ink and written on a paper. So it resembles the feathery pen. It is called as sea pen. Okay, Pennatula. Next, Tubifora. The name itself indicates the tube, organ pipe. Tubipora. This is also called as organ pipe. Organ pipe. Next, Gorgonin. Gorgonin is also called as sea fish. Next, Aliconium. Aliconium. This is dead man's finger. Next, Corallium. Corallium. This is red coral. Red coral, or you can say Munga. Munga. Okay. So this is the classification and general characteristics of cnidarians or coelentrates. Okay. Cnidarians or coelentrates. So in the next class, we will learn about the phylum Ctenophora.